watch it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That makes
You
sense.
can do reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you say don't watch it, then people are going to be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not going to watch it, and then,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just hit
Like, I do what I
live
want.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, like, you know what? Let's give them a bit of the insight into behind the curtain, like a little peek, you know? Like,
Let's go
why
straight
did
into
Ramon put
it.
don't watch it, you know?
Mm.
Yeah, so, hey, everyone. Hey, all you Nightcats out there. This is the Nightcat Salsa Squad Movie Club. We're all a bunch of Nightcats. My name's Ramon. I'm a world-renowned comic artist / Nightcat / salsa aficionado, and I'm here with my very good friends Tamra Bonvillain.
Yep.
Also a world-renowned comic artist in her own right, you know, and my good friend Nick Barber.
Hello.
And he's also a world-renowned comic artist in his own right, you know. So,
A lot of renown.
Yeah, in our own right.
So we're gonna talk about a little movie that we just watched called Johnny Mnemonic.
That we are.
Johnny Mnemonic, guys. Let's give like just in case these people for some reason haven't seen it, right? Just for
I don't know how that could be
reason.
possible.
I mean, it's a 1995 classic starring Keannu Reeves.
Yeah.
Keannu Reeves stars as the titular Johnny, and he
Johnny not Mnemonic.
Yeah, well, at one point, you know, the girl says, like, oh, aren't you Johnny Mnemonic? And he's like, no, just Johnny.
Did she say that? Aren't you
Yeah.
Johnny Mnemonic?
Someone asked his name.
Yeah,
and he's
they
like,
would say, aren't you
Johnny.
Johnny Mnemonic?
Yeah, and then someone's like,
So
what's
it's
your
like-
last name? And he's like, I don't know.
He should have said Wick.
Well,
Johnny Wick, Johnny Mnemonic?
yeah.
John Wick. It's all
Oh,
coming
shit.
together.
That's another of your theories.
So here's the thing, Nick is our theory guy. Nick's got a lot of theories.
Look, I'm kind of the big theory guy around here. It's no big deal. I'm a university-educated fellow. I like to apply that knowledge
It's the Nick Bang
to
theory.
Johnny Mnemonic. It's no big deal, you know. It's
Yeah.
not something I like to brag about, but
Really,
everyone else wants to.
Yeah.
So anyways, he's Johnny Mnemonic. He's what we call a wet-wired data courier.
Something like that, yeah.
Basically, he's like if a thumb drive was a human being.
Right. But with less
Yeah.
hard drive space.
Yeah, with much less. He can carry up to 160 gigs of data in his head, right?
Pretty crazy.
And at the very beginning of the movie, a group of I'm not sure what they are. I don't know what their jobs are. They're a group of like Asian fellows. They're watching anime and they got a job for Johnny.
They say they're new to it. They're like, we're new to this.
Yeah, we haven't done this before, but we got 360 gigs of data. He's like, I can handle it. And they're like, are you sure? And he goes, I can handle it.
Yeah, he does do that.
I'm not entirely sure that's how that works. Like, you can just cram more in because you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like, I've used a lot of thumb drives in my life. And
Yeah.
usually when
Like-
they're full, they're full. They don't try to play a hero, you know?
He knew the risks and he accepted them. You know? It's not his
Really?
first rodeo.
He really ended up paying the price for that, though.
So unfortunately for Johnny, the data that they give him is wanted by gangsters, I want to say all around the world, but really just in Japan or China.
Yeah, well, because
Well,
the
they're Japanese,
Yakuza,
but he's in China.
Yeah.
there was like an opening crawl, and it explained that in the year 2021, the Yakuza pretty much run everything.
Can I be honest with both of you? I've
You didn't watch
never
that, but-
read an opening crawl in my entire life. Even when we started this one, I was like, "You guys, can you just read this to me? Because I'm not, I'm not gonna keep up." Like,
I
just
think a
don't have-
wall of text is just a good way to start a movie, if you ask me.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
just good filmmaking.
There's never once in my entire life where I'm like, "Oh yeah, I gotta know like the backstory." That's
Okay,
literally
well-
why I'm watching the fucking movie, right?
Follow-up question to that, Ramon, is do you ever read those things in comics where it's like a recap?
No, never once.
Never. Yeah, I never read those.
Really?
I've
No,
never.
I have a terrible memory, so I always have to read those, or I have no idea what's going on anymore.
You should use
know what
mnemonic
I-
devices for that.
You know what I do? I read the issue before that.
Right?
Because usually that one doesn't have one
It
of those
works.
things.
Yeah. No, I do that, but by the time I read the next issue, I've forgotten everything that was in there.
Yeah, but I'll just reread an issue.
Like
Like when Final Crisis came
then
out,
I'm
I
in a
just reread Final Crisis.
But then it's like a non-stop thing. I have to read the one before that, and so on. Like every time
It's
a
a
new
whole
comic
thing.
comes out. Yeah.
Wait, are you telling me that you data dumped a like you don't have long-term memory? Or are you a Johnny Mnemonic?
Look,
You,
I know the limitations of my brain and the hard space they're in. I don't
You
try to
dumped a
cram in
chunk.
double the space.
Yeah, you dumped a chunk on us. So anyways, Johnny's hunted down by a group of villainous yakuza who enlist the help of I want to say Jesus, like a techno Jesus,
Well,
as Dolph Lundgren.
Jesus works for
Wait.
Ralphie, doesn't he?
Wait. Jesus as Dolph Lundgren. No. It's Dolph Lundgren. Absolutely
Are
Dolph
we sure
Lundgren.
about that?
Listen,
We 100%
Dolph
sure about
Lundgren
that?
plays Terminator Jesus, and
Yeah.
he's one of the many people enlisted to hunt down Johnny. Well, let's not say many. Let's say one of two. Even though plenty of times in this movie, Johnny Mnemonic will say, "The whole world's after me."
Well, no, all those Yakuza guys are after him.
Yeah, but only like one of those guys is a threat. So anyways, Johnny goes to Newark, New Jersey. Right? Is that where he goes?
Yeah.
Okay. So he goes to Newark, and he's gonna drop off this data, and there he runs afoul of the Yakuza when he tries to take it back to his boss Ralphie, and while getting into this mischief, a plucky young female bodyguard named Jane, or as everyone else likes to call her in the movie, Bitch. They meet and they fall in love and they go on this adventure together to save the world with this data. So I mean that's the gist of it, right?
Yeah.
With the help of a bunch of low-techs led by Ice-T.
Yeah.
Oh, and
sorry? Who?
And led by Ice-T as J-Bone.
Yeah.
J-Bone.
Thank you.
Yeah. And also Henry Rollins as what do they call him?
Spider?
His
Was
name
he
is Spider. I'm not quite sure who Spider was.
He's a flesh mechanic.
Yeah,
He's a flesh mechanic and a doctor. He may or may not have been named Spider. They never refer to him as that. But there's always they do talk about a Spider. I just never know who the fuck they're talking about.
I mean, to be fair, we did all kind of work while we were watching this. So,
yeah. Also, I could barely hear anything they were saying.
I may have dumped a chunk of data about this movie.
A lot of seepage.
I'd say we're all well informed to do a podcast about it.
We
not
absolutely. That's not in question here, Ramon. That's definitely no one's arguing that.
Let's not go and incriminate ourselves and say that we're not well informed about this movie.
Look,
right?
We don't know what we're talking about. We're definitely informed enough to do a podcast about it.
Almost experts on Johnny Mnemonic.
To be fair, though, we're not doing a podcast.
This is not a podcast. I want everybody listening to know what you're listening to is more like a chill vibe. It's not a podcast. It's a vibecast. If anything, it's a vibecast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're just here for vibes, and that's it. And we're casting them out. So
casting those vibes wide.
So what was your guys' favorite part of the movie, Nick? Do you have a
favorite part of the whole movie? I had a few, but
oh my god, yeah.
Well, just pick one. Just give me your favorite, the tastiest nugget.
Probably when he cuts that guy in 3 pieces with the laser dental floss thing, the whip thing.
The thing that's in his amputated thumb that he turned into a laser whip.
Yeah.
What a cool, if I lost my thumb, I would never think I need to turn this into a laser whip.
Well, I wouldn't have before, but definitely
he's
now.
a glass half full kind of guy, you know?
Yeah.
I imagine when he lost that thumb, he went to the doctor and they were like, "Well, nothing we can do for you." It's like, nothing? You can't put a laser whip there?
The doctor's like, let me give you this brochure on different weapons that we could turn your thumb into. Just give that a read. There's some pretty interesting new technology available.
We're doing great things with laser
We're doing
whip
big things with thumbs these days.
So, yeah, man. That was a wild thing. Like I did not expect a laser whip. Did you?
Absolutely not.
The laser whip
And,
came out of left field.
yeah, and he squandered a great opportunity to use it where Johnny escapes, like mere meters from him, or feet, I guess, as you guys would say, away from him, and he yells at a guy who's on the floor. He says, "Get him, you fool!"
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a
this
prime
is-
time to use it.
Yeah, that was directly after he did use the laser whip to murder someone. He was the last man standing,
Maybe
and he orders everyone else who's already been beaten to chase him down.
Maybe it's like a cooldown, like he used it, so he can't use it again for a little while.
Yeah, that's a good
the,
point.
the tragic thing about him, because he is a tragic character, his downfall was his own laser whip thumb. Because at the end of the movie, him and Johnny are hanging off that like train. They're in heaven.
Yeah.
Heaven
Let's be clear what heaven is in this movie.
Yeah, when I say they're in heaven, they're just on a bridge. They're on a bridge where trash people live.
Bridge, aka heaven.
They're on a bridge where trash people live with a what is it? Like that dolphin had powers. It had psychic power.
Telekinesis? Telepathy?
That telepathic dolphin.
Hmm.
You know,
I missed the part where he was telepathic. I thought he just had like a lot of shit.
So you're saying all dolphins can communicate with Keannu Reeves as effortlessly as a dolphin?
You're crazy, Tamra. I'm going to stop you right there.
If they're wearing some high-tech, low-tech headgear.
That's ridiculous. That was a special dolphin, just like Keannu Reeves was a special courier.
Right.
He was the one.
Mm-hmm. You could say that. Some people might say that.
I'm saying it right now.
Morpheus might say that.
Right. I don't know if that has to do with anything, but...
So, anyways, that laser whip, him and Keannu Reeves are hanging off, and Keannu, like, opens it up and, like, cuts his fucking head off. It's pretty brutal, actually. Like, I thought it was going to be one of those things where Keannu realized, like, we can both live. And, like, I thought he was going to climb up and help him up, you know? And instead he was like, oh, I got the great idea. I'm going to cut his fucking head off. Especially because Keannu, the whole movie, is, like, really concerned about everyone cutting his head off. That it was, like, a pretty,
Oh, it's very ironic, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up that he, like, had no sympathy.
A hypocrite.
Tamra, what about you? What was your favorite part of the movie?
I don't know if it's my favorite part, but, like, what came to me was when they used the VR machines. But not the virtual reality. They cut as much to them using the virtual reality, but like outside of the graphics, so you just see them wiggling their hands around like a bunch of idiots.
So that's your favorite part was when not even the really like rudimentary like 3D effects.
I mean that's fine. You know, it is what it is for the time, and it's probably okay. But just seeing Keannu constantly doing like these actions that are supposed to be like really like badass, and he's just like wiggling his hands.
We should take a moment to give a shout out to AT&T.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, AT&T was a big like it's really the only brand that gets mentioned at all in this thing, right?
I think they're
the
only
remaining telecommunications brand.
AT&T and.
But like in some movies, they'll have like a Taco Bell or a Pepsi.
Right. But it's
just AT&T.
It's just AT&T and PharmaCorp that are left.
So a cool thing about this movie, Tamara, I'm not sure if you knew this, but Sony had like really big ideas when this came out. Like at the end, we were like all really jazzed about the soundtrack because it has like nothing but like crazy '90s songs on it. This whole thing was like a big transmedia promotion for Sony. So all of the digital effects were done by like a Sony company that issued a CD-ROM video game for DOS and a Mega CD, Sega CD version of the game that was also developed by Sony, and apparently a pinball game too. Like every
very high tech.
But like the record company was Sony's Columbia division.
Yeah.
And like they also had like a big internet push too. They had merchandise such as a Hack Your Own Brain T-shirt and a
wow, I'd love to get my hands on one of those.
Yeah, I would like to see him too. Apparently, also the screenwriter William Gibson deployed a field questions with a video game from fans online. he's a reclusive novelist, but like for this special occasion,
Yeah,
he decided, you know what? In 1995, I'm gonna go online and talk to a bunch of fucking nerds about this movie. So,
it's the first
like,
Reddit AMA.
they dropped $20,000
Wow, you're
worth of
right,
prizes, you know,
He
out
created
into the
virtual
world.
reality and the Reddit AMA.
Yeah.
One executive marketer for Sony was quoted as saying, "We see the internet as a turbocharged word of mouth. Instead of one person telling another person something good is happening, one person tells millions."
And
That's the way they see it, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but we have literally one viewer on this fucking video. That's 3 of us. We should be talking to 3 million fucking people right now.
Are you trying to say that Sony was wrong?
I'm saying Sony may have been a little full of shit. But, you know, props to them for like really like they had a movie that was clearly ahead of its time visually, thematically.
it's all the future.
Keannu Reeves is like still a big actor. You know what I mean? He's still doing hot shit.
Absolutely.
I don't think anybody else in this movie is, but at least they had Keannu, right? You know.
Ice-T, you know, he's still.
He gets around. He's on
CIS
Law
or
and
whatever.
Order or whatever.
Yeah.
I watched. There's
Still
one of
in
my
it.
favorite music videos is this this heavy metal version of "Turn Down for What," and for some reason Ice-T's in it. Like all he says is like, "Oh, Ice-T's in this motherfucker." Like that's it, right? And in the music video, it's just him and like this white dude in like a strip club, like pouring bottles on strippers and like hanging out, looking real cool. Yeah, it's pretty hardcore. In this movie,
he's still around.
Do you think he turned up on set and he's like, alright, what do you want me to do in this? And they're like, oh, it's good, don't worry, we got a script for you. And they're like, let's give him, like, we've had a few rewrites, but check this out, then, you know, let's go with this. And yeah, it just says Ice-T's in this motherfucker.
Oh, you're talking about for the music video?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the movie.
I thought you were talking about this movie.
Yeah.
Talking about that music video, your favorite music video.
No, but Nick, if you don't mind if I steal your whole like gimmick thing, I do have a theory about someone who was like that in this movie, which was Henry Rollins, because the whole fucking movie, I just felt like Henry Rollins was saying super Henry Rollins-esque stuff about like, you know,
You think
like whatever.
You think he got to do some rewrites on that script, maybe?
I think he thought that was real life. I think he just showed up on set. He was a flesh mechanic. He was method super early.
Oh shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was like the Jared Leto of 1995.
He was
Is
doing
Jared
flesh-
Leto a method actor?
Yeah, you don't know that bullshit.
Why have you not heard?
No, I try not to pay too much attention
He's
to
a method actor because he was sending rats and stuff to people. You know?
Yeah,
Like the Joker would.
he was sending dead pigs with their throats cut out and used condoms to his co-stars.
Oh, good.
That was a real de-escalation.
I'm surprised that like we're talking to the one person who hadn't heard about that fucking shit.
So you're saying that Henry Rollins was really out there doing like the flesh mechanic work?
I think he was, yeah. I think he still is on our minds. My favorite part, I gotta say, my favorite part was like the Terminator-esque love story between Jane and Johnny. Like, I know it's hard to say like they had chemistry because I'm not sure that they did. But I wanted them to so bad. And like at the end, like I just got like Terminator is my favorite of the Terminator movies, just the first one, you know? What?
No, I don't know.
He said Terminator is my favorite of the Terminator movies.
Well, Nick, I don't know if you realize this too, but there's also more than one Terminator movie.
I know. It was just a funny thing to say.
Sorry that we laughed at a thing you said, Ramon. It'll never happen again.
So Terminator is my favorite Terminator movie, you know? And
Fair.
I really liked how this movie like really tried to capture a lot of that magic by just kind of ripping it off. Because like they really just like gender swapped it, right? Like instead of Kyle Reese being like the badass that like you know knows how to like is the street smart badass who's like just saving the helpless idiot who holds the key to the savior of like humanity. Like that's just the opposite. Like that's Keannu Reeves. He's a helpless idiot who happens to have like a lot of data in them that will save everybody from some unknown like techno-virus that they all have, right? And
the laser whip thumb guy is like the Terminator.
No, what are you talking about? Jesus is the Terminator.
Oh.
Because he's a robot. Like they said, he's. What?
Would you guys be interested in T-shirts that says Jesus is my Terminator?
Well, I'm not against it as long as it's
just a
Dolph
pitch
Lundgren,
at this point, but yeah. And it's
a
photo of Dolph Lundgren, and it says Jesus is my Terminator.
That'd be cool.
Like
People would be real
fly off the
confused,
shelves.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would buy. Yeah, I guess I would get one of those. Yeah.
All right, I'll put you down for one.
Pretty
good. Put me down for two.
Put you down for one. All right.
That gets a stain, you know?
Yeah.
So
you don't look stupid and like have like your, you know.
But yeah, no, they said like he was full of like robot parts because he was like going crazy. Like some people have like a couple things that were implants, cybernetic implants, but his like whole body was. That's why when like they tried to hit him, he was like really strong. I mean that and his general Dolph Lundgren-ness, you know?
Yeah.
You know, okay, so here's the thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Dolph Lundgren, Dolphin Lundgren.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're going, but it's a bit of a stretch.
It's a loose theory at this point. I don't have much evidence to back it up.
I mean, there's no theory. It's just a random word association.
At this point, that's all it is.
It's like,
that's where the theories start, though.
I don't know if you noticed, but this actor's real name and this creature share part of the similar sounding, like a syllable here.
Nick, I gotta be honest with you. That loose theory just cost us our one viewers, so
Did it?
You're gonna need to pick up your theory game if you want to.
Did it really?
We have 0 viewers, so yeah.
It's okay.
We shut it down.
What? No.
He's so easily discouraged.
No,
I'm not sure how these things work.
No, you just gotta work on your theories, and then the viewers will come piling in.
Yeah, the word of mouth.
I heard there were some hot theories here. Yeah, word of mouth. One person could, spread to 1 million. Granted, right now we have 0, so they'll spread to 0 million.
That's still a lot of zeros.
Yeah, tons of zeros, like 7 zeros.
Ones and zeros, eh?
Mostly zeros at the moment, but we get some ones in there.
So
that person had enough, eh?
Yeah. So, anyways,
wild.
Did you guys feel the chemistry between them or no? Because I felt
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is that just how you generally feel in life, or was that about the movie?
Yeah,
well,
it is.
True.
But, yeah.
I don't know, bro. I just felt like
very real with Nick for a
very
second.
somber, yeah. I'm looking at my own reflection and like some water right now.
I thought he had more to say. He's just like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm standing on the ledge of my apartment building right now.
Oh, Nick, it's not worth it.
I agree.
Well, that's good. We talked you down. Now we can move on.
Speaking of Dolph Lundgren, though, this was his last movie before he came back for the what is this movie's called with all the old people in them? Expendables. Yeah.
He was just waiting for them.
Turns out he was expendable.
Oh.
You think it was a coincidence?
What do you mean?
I think like this was his magnum opus, and then he was like,
he did this, and he was just like, "There's more to life than this."
No, I think he did this, and he was like,
"I can't top that.
I'm good to go." Yeah.
Right.
He had a great fucking performance. I thought
that was his Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, because he was like a killer who crucified people. That was like his go-to move.
And like a big like religious thing going. Yeah. He answered the call to the job in his Bible with a carved out like little slot with a screen in it.
Didn't he refer to himself as Jesus at some point though too?
Yeah, at the very end, he says like.
Yeah. Because that's what I found strange is we were just calling him that jokingly, and then he actually referred.
He was like, "In case my feet was too subtle, call me Jesus."
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the movie, he came dressed in a red toga, and I believe he said, "Here's Jesus," which actually leads into your theory about this movie, your loose theory.
That it's
that is some
takes place in the Shining verse.
Yeah. I'm not sure how, but I'm super willing to buy it.
So the child in The Shining had those telekinetic powers, right?
Like the
And,
dolphins. Like the
yeah, I
dolphins.
think he was a young Johnny Mnemonic.
Well, at one point, so in this movie, Johnny's memory is like his memory of
little
his
girls.
childhood. Yeah, his memory of his childhood, he's completely
Oh,
cut it out of himself, right?
Yes.
But he gets flashes of them. Like when he goes into the hotel in the very beginning, he sees people who are dressed like the bellhops in the what is it? What hotel? The Overlook?
something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
The Shining
The
Hotel.
Shining Hotel. Yeah.
Yeah, and he sees two little girls that are twins, and it was like kind of creepy. Like, yeah, this is a shining moment, but like
Yeah.
they don't even acknowledge it.
So to speak.
But then at the end, his memory comes flooding back to him, and it really wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty like good. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he had to make room for all the anime pictures and superheroes.
Yeah, at one point he yells at the Jane. He yells at bitch, and he tells her like,
Oh.
"Hey, that's her name, right? Like it's interchangeable."
You said her name, but you know.
Literally everybody calls her bitch more than they call her Jane. So
It's true. I didn't actually know her name was Jane until you said it.
yeah, like I had to tell you, like, no, her name is Jane, actually, not bitch. Like, I mean, look, people have names like Spider and Pretty and Hooky, so bitch is not like outside of the realm of possibility, you know?
Absolutely. It is the future.
Yeah, and J-Bone. But he tells her like, yeah, I like maybe there's parts of my memory I don't want to remember, and then like when they show it, it was super happy. He was like he was at a birthday party. There was cake. There was two little girls that were like vibing on him, you know.
Mm.
Which Nick thinks maybe the ghost from The Shining. So
yeah,
possibly. Still working on that theory, but you know, I'll get back to you. Keep you updated.
Granted, this takes place in 2020, which would lead us to believe that time is a flat circle because those girls come back into his life, or they never left it. Nick, your theory is starting to really fucking get to me, dude.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
Fuck. I'm kind of just floored by the theory.
I didn't make the connection that those girls appeared earlier in the movie until you mentioned that also. I really didn't pay much attention to this movie, honestly. But
I think I was the only one that did, yeah.
Well, it's good that you did. But yeah, no, you know, Nick, it's really coming together. They were in a hotel. They were at a hotel.
I mean, say no
little
more.
girls, you know, twins.
His name's Johnny. He's like, here's Johnny.
Right.
He doesn't actually say that.
Right. He never says that, but that's
He
fine.
never says that, but that's okay.
It's okay.
But maybe the repressed memory that he wanted cut out of his head was when his dad violently tried to murder him in his mom in the hotel.
Oh, and at the end, those aren't his real memories. Those are just like happy memories that they reimplanted
from right before his dad tried to murder him.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
He's just trying to like take the pieces that he had and like trick him into thinking he had a pleasant childhood and like yeah.
So I gotta say, it's pretty fucked up that we've talked about this movie for as long as we have, and we didn't mention the thing that we couldn't stop talking about the most in this fucking movie, which was Keannu Reeves' wardrobe in this movie.
Oh man.
Because Keannu Reeves, he wears a gigantic fucking suit with a tiny little necktie, like the knot is tiny,
giant collar on the shirt,
and a giant collar, which is only looked further like it's only juxtaposed further with like the tiny little tie, you know, the knot. What were they thinking? Do you think that was like a future style? Like that was like in the future people might dress like this?
Yeah, well, I think it was like.
Did you ever see her in it?
Sorry, you go, Tamra.
No, well you said that, and then when he first shows up wearing that suit, all the other guys in the scene they have like regular suits that people would wear today, you know, like the ties were normal.
But they were Yakuza.
There is some weird stuff like that. Like Ice-T says, you know, hey, get your VCRs ready to record this, and then there's other scenes where they're sending faxes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a weird mashup of like high
tech and low tech.
But you have to keep in mind though that like at that time that was as far as people thought technology was probably going to go. Like they're like VHS is here to stay.
Yeah, they're like we could safely assume they'll still have fax machines then. Yeah.
Yeah, 2021 the fax machine makes a comeback in a big way.
I mean,
there's no way.
Still...
Do you guys ever use a fax machine? Like,
I've never used a fax machine in my life.
they're pretty weird things. I remember when I was in primary school, which is kind of like, I guess, elementary school for you guys. It's when you're like 5 years old to about like 10 years old kind of thing. Is that elementary school?
Yeah,
It is,
We
yeah.
had we had something with another school where we would do like maths problems
Mhm.
and then fax them to the other school, and they would do. I can't remember what the setup was for this faxing back and forth, but we thought it would be hilarious to draw, offensive things and write offensive things
Oh,
and fax it to these kids at this other school,
you
And
guys
we
are
didn't
real
realize.
troublemakers.
Yeah, I mean, we were so young, we didn't realize that
Just
when you send a
faxing.
fax, it like
Stays.
creates a copy on your end too, and so sort of like immediately got into trouble, like within moments of it doing it.
You got a fax back that said, "Congratulations, you played yourself."
Absolutely. Yeah, the principal of that other school was DJ Khaled. Not many people know that's how he started out, but
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was.
Is the vice principal in New Zealand?
Yeah. I mean, humble beginnings,
real
Absolutely.
rags to riches story, yeah.
Now look at him. He's jet skiing all over the world, sometimes getting lost at sea.
Incredibly quickly.
Yeah, I've never used a fax machine. I'm not sure, like... I've seen them, because when I was younger, I remember people would, like, need one, and they would, like, call somebody who had them, like, oh, can I go to your house and fax something? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I never...
I feel
I was
like,
surprised nobody had an answering machine on there.
yeah, I feel like even up to like a few years ago, and maybe they still do, and I don't know about it, that people still use fax machines, like, because I've had like rare instances where something like, well, you can mail it or you can fax it to us, and it's like, well, why would I do that? Like, why can't I just email it to you? Like,
Yeah. I had to tell somebody that. They were like, can you fax us this document? Like, as recently as, like, 2 or 3 years ago.
yeah,
Like, can you fax us this document? And I was like, no, dude, I can't. Nobody can. But I can scan you a copy that you can then print out, like a high-res of the same exact thing. It's basically like a fax that we don't need, like, a landline for.
yeah.
It's neat.
Yeah, it's a terrible system. Like, you send a fax and it just sits on the fax machine for someone to collect. There's no organization of it or anything like that. Like email, you can sort through by date or whatever, but fax, it literally is a physical copy that just sits on the machine.
You also sort through faxes by date. It's just like the order that they print out.
In the pile, yeah.
It's a very, it's a very efficient system.
Yeah. Speaking of telecommunications in this movie, it's not really that exciting to talk about, but it definitely needed to be noted that giant phone that Keannu Reeves was using.
It's like comically large.
It really is.
Who was talking to him? You remember? Did it matter?
Who knows? Yeah. Was it Ralphie?
No, he was dead already. Ralphie got killed in the very beginning.
I gotta be honest with you guys, I kinda want a desktop wallpaper that's Keanu with that giant suit speaking on that giant phone. It was just a great image. It was very Pee Wee Herman-ish.
Maybe it was just like in the future they have like a retro thing. Like how everyone's like all about like the 80s or 90s now. Like they're like having like a resurgence, and it's just like all about big phones and fax machines and VCRs.
Yeah, 20th century culture. Yeah.
Can I tell you something? I've read so many articles lately about people who are like, "Oh, I'm using like a vintage iPod because like I just feel like it disconnects me. I just feel like it disconnects me from like the grind of like listening to music on my iPhone." And I saw another person was like, "I'm really going back to Razr Motorola phones.
Yeah.
That's really what I'm about because I don't like want to be bothered by the the busy lifestyle of like the 21st century."
Yeah.
But maybe Keanu was doing that in like 2020 with that giant red phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't matter who he was talking to. I just remember like we were watching it, and I'm like, guys, he has a giant red phone, and you both had to like look up from your work to notice. Like, holy shit!
I'm really glad I did look up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like you said, it's Pee Wee Herman-esque. It was fucking crazy.
I feel like people talk about the Zach Morris phone a lot. That's like the go-to. It was like it felt bigger than that.
It was much bigger than that. It was like the size of his fucking head. Yeah, that was amazing. So, guys, Takashi, the guy who I'm not sure. Like as we were watching, I wasn't sure if he was a villain or a hero because he was chasing down Keanu for this data or the data.
Yeah.
But at the end, he saves the day because he lets Keanu take the data, which is like a cure to a virus. That this.
Well, it turns out that not only did he have the data, but they could have used the data to save his daughter.
Right.
His daughter.
Yeah, his daughter.
The data could have saved his data. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what turned him. He found out that his own corporation betrayed him.
Right. So the reason why it may have been a little confusing, though, is that the Japanese cut of this movie featured that guy very prominently.
Oh, yeah?
And for the American version, they just cut out like a lot of his scenes. Like this movie was.
They had to dump him.
Yeah, they dumped a major chunk. This movie, like in Japan, had it looked like so. There's a version on YouTube that we were going to watch, the longer one. That was the Japanese version, and it was, I guess, closer to the director's vision. It had a Japanese soundtrack instead of the rock one that we got from Sony, and that we got a lot more information about the Takashi and his daughter.
Yeah.
Like I think what you said was right, Tamra, but like we just had to sort of pile that together, you know.
Well, there is that one point in the movie, right, where the little weird white face joins in, but he was watching a video of like a young girl. So I'm assuming he was watching like a video and like, you know, like a little sad repeat watching of like your dead relative kind of thing in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japan's really like pretty honest about that stuff. Like when Big Hero 6 came out in Japan, they made no bones about sort of what that movie's about in the trailer, whereas in the American the American thing was sort of like didn't really mention it until, you know, people saw the movie.
Wait, what?
Yeah, well, have you seen that movie? I feel like I don't want to like. Well, it's not really a spoiler, I guess, but there's a family member that dies, and it's like a kind of the catalyst of most of that movie, and it's like how the trailer starts for the Japanese trailer of that movie.
Okay.
Whereas, you know, the American version, they shy away from that pretty heavily. So, you know.
There's one thing in American animated movies they don't like to do is to kill children's parents.
Yeah, I think they don't want to put that in the trailer anyway.
It's a bummer. Like, nobody wants to do that.
I feel like Disney has built their empire on murdering children's parents.
Absolutely.
That's Disney. We're talking about the Japanese, you know, culture, though.
I feel like we're losing the thread here.
Are we, or are we just starting to unravel it?
That would be one way to lose it.
So, Nick, you were telling me that this movie was like it's from like the writer of it is William Gibson, who's like some fucking like important guy, right?
Yeah, he's sort of like regarded as one of the fathers of cyberpunk, you know, him and Bruce Sterling and
have you read any of those books?
Dick and I read Neuromancer. It's pretty incomprehensible. Like, it's regarded as like this great work of literature, but it's like, you know, they do that tech babble in this movie where they're like, you gotta dump the RAM so we can refrag the drive, and then like it's just lingo like that for the whole thing, which to make it sound cool and futuristic, but as a reader it's kind of you get kind of lost because none of it's real. It's not real tech talk. It's just all tech babble and made up Star Trek. Like, you know, if we refrag the warp, you know, thing, then
it sounds cool and futuristic until you watch it for the first time 20 years later.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, at the end of the movie, you said, "Well, it'll probably be better because, like, I'm sure, like, the director didn't capture his vision." But like, I don't know why you said that because based on what you just told me, that guy is like an incomprehensible writer, anyways. And also, like, the script was the biggest problem of this fucking movie. Like, if there was one, you know. Like, let me like not miss. I love this movie. Like, I'll watch it again. I'm not like hating on it. But if there was a reason why people would dislike it, it's because it makes no goddamn sense. It's like really confusing. There's a lot of things happening with not a lot of Like, there's a lot of explanation that's not explanation. It's just like double talk.
Yeah.
You know?
The crawl itself needed like a glossary of terms or something.
So here's the thing with this movie. Longo, the director, and Gibson, they wanted to make a small budget art film that would cost like $500,000 to make, but they could not get $500,000 to fund the art version.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow Sony Pictures got on board, and it became a $30 million movie.
Uh-huh.
And it just like I think what happened was they just like were like, yeah, I mean, we have Dolph Lundgren, we have Ice-T, we have Keanu Reeves, and it just like it became like you know, like they say like those things like they got away from him or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it was too big. This is a classic case of that, I would imagine, because I don't think William Gibson and this director, I don't think they were meant to make a $30 million blockbuster movie. I mean, it has a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that that means anything, but it only grossed
People don't like it.
Yeah, but I don't really give a shit about Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just
But it only made like $19 million.
That's what he cares about.
Rough.
The box office.
Yeah, the box office. Money talks. Bullshit walks.
Charlie
And
Sheen.
Keanu Reeves' performance did earn him a Golden Raspberry, guys.
I knew he won some kind of award for this movie.
Should we talk
With
about
that monologue
his
he
Oscar?
gets?
Yeah, I was gonna say, should we talk about his Oscar-worthy scene?
Oh, you talking about when he like really breaks down and talks about how he wants room service?
Yeah.
Is that what he was going on about?
He's like,
Yeah.
I want room service and a club sandwich.
Well, he's like boiling over, and he goes, "I want room service." He starts naming all the things he wants. Like, I want a club sandwich. I think he thought Jane was like capable of getting him those things.
Yeah. I mean, you know, pretty sexist. He's thinking like, she's a woman. If I just tell her like, hey, I'm hungry, maybe she'll fix me a club sandwich. You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Chauvinist.
The movie has a lot to say about like gender relations in the future.
Absolutely.
Notice all the bodyguards seem to be like women.
Yeah, interesting.
I think this movie actually has like a lot of really tight ideas in it. I just think the problem is like most moviegoers are not gonna get it. Like, I think we get it. You know what I mean? Like, I think I understood their vision, and I'm down. You know. But I don't think like, you know, the person going to see this at the mall with like, you know, buying a bucket of popcorn, I don't think they were gonna get it. I'm smarter than them.
That's true.
You know?
You're just too ambitious. Like you said, it was ahead of its time.
By like years.
Is that a pun or?
What?
You said
How
it's
would it be?
ahead of its time, and the whole movie is preoccupied with
That's a hell of a stretch for a pun.
people cutting people's heads off. And
Nick, next time you bring out one of your theories, make sure you come correct, bro, because that really was terrible, that theory.
I was just asking.
Would you guys
Okay.
be surprised to hear that Robert Longo never directed another movie? Never directed
so
another
long
movie
ago.
after this?
Did he direct any movies before this?
He did a Tales from the Crypt episode, and he did an REM video and a New Order video.
Okay.
Not bad.
Do you know which Tales from the Crypt episode?
Yeah, I do, because I'm on the internet.
Okay.
It's a way for me to connect with a million people.
I haven't gone worldwide yet, so.
Cyberspace.
He did an episode called "This'll Kill Ya."
That could be any episode.
Sophie Wagner and Pat Brigman are a couple of scientists who work at a research center when their sleazy and sadistic diabetic boss, George Gatlin, Sophie and Pat decide to teach George a lesson by lacing his insulin with unstable experimental serum that they have been working on.
Rude.
Jeez.
Yeah, super rude. I don't really know who is in this one. Oh, Dylan McDermott. He's
sounds
somebody, right?
Sounds like a hilarious joke, by the way.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any like stars. This is definitely like the kind of one that I would just change a channel on. I really was only about like, cause I did love Tales from the Crypt, but I really mainly loved the guy in the beginning.
The Crypt Keeper.
Yeah,
Who was that guy?
I was super down for the Crypt Keeper and its hilarious jokes, but then once the thing
This
started,
makes a lot of sense.
once the thing started, I was kind of like, oh, do I really have to sit here now?
This really explains why you're so fond of Nick.
Am I the Crypt Keeper in this situation?
I don't know if you ever saw Tales from the Crypt, Nick, but the Crypt
Yeah,
Keeper
I
was
loved it.
The Crypt Keeper loved puns, so you know, it's this whole thing.
Yeah, I was down with the Tales from the Crypt.
I'm gonna be. I don't think Nick's as good of a punster as the Crypt Keeper.
Punster.
That's true. I mean, but
Yeah.
that's you'd be hard pressed to be better than the Crypt Keeper. What was your favorite episode?
I don't really remember. I just remember watching it all the time, but I don't really remember specific episodes. I was quite young.
I definitely don't remember any episodes. I just mainly remember the Crypt Keeper being hilarious.
Sorry, I was preoccupied. Oh, there it is.
It was the episode with Bobcat Goldthwait where he played a ventriloquist.
Bobcat. Did he do that awesome voice that he's famous for?
I think he talked pretty normal.
Okay.
But I haven't seen it.
Workshopping that.
I think this was maybe post the voice.
Post voice.
Mm-hmm.
PV.
I haven't seen it in years. I could be
so
totally wrong.
The director of this movie was a painter and a sculptor.
Wow.
And he was a star in the art world in the 80s.
Yeah. It really shows.
Yeah, I feel like the movie did have some like good art direction at parts of it. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure he had a hand in it. Like that mall scene where they're like just hanging out in the mall, but it's all like a dystopian mall scene where there's like just naked mannequins hanging out, and like that was pretty artfully done, I thought.
Sure. There's some cool stuff. Even the virtual reality stuff didn't really look that bad, for like considering that time period and everything. Like it definitely looks better than like.
If you go for realism, so.
Yeah. Like it definitely looks better than like your Lawnmower Mans and stuff like that.
Right.
Heck is.
I will say the exception being the final fight.
Oh, go ahead.
I said the exception being that final fight scene where he fights.
What was the final fight scene?
Where he was like the weird 3D version
when he breaks apart the virus. When he breaks apart the virus, yeah. It
was very odd.
I feel like that was supposed to be highly stylized, but yeah,
definitely right. That, but
you're right. So there was one character that you really were not feeling at all, Tamra. Well, they brought in this guy at the end of the movie who had like a real high voice and like a lisp.
God.
Yeah, I was losing it.
I don't know. He was just one of the low-techs or whatever, just hanging out, dropping flaming cars on people whenever he had the chance.
Yeah, he had like one job, and that was to like not drop flaming cars on important things. People, and he didn't do it. Like he kept dropping flaming cars on things and people.
It's kind of a problem.
Yeah, J-Bone really fucked up on that one.
Yeah, J-Bone should have really like fixed that situation.
Yeah, I feel like he was definitely not the guy to put in charge of that task. But no, I don't know. He had this fucking voice. It was very obnoxious.
What did it sound like, Tamra?
He was also trying to do kind of like, I don't know what he was doing. Like he was doing like this weird accent. He had a lisp at the same time. Like he was just a weird energy about him.
At first, I thought it was do you know like not Dom Dolly? Is this dude who was in Magnolia? He was like on the game show. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen Magnolia?
Yes. I don't know his name.
He's like a Puerto Rican dude.
Guzman, right?
Yeah, Luis Guzman. At first I thought it was him. I know that like the only Luis Guzman movie I know is Magnolia. He was also in that movie Waiting with Dane Cook or Ryan Reynolds or somebody, I forgot. But
all the Guzman classics.
Yeah, just all the classic Guzman movies.
Yeah.
I thought it was him at first, but it wasn't him at all. But he sounded like that guy to me.
Oh, he had kind of like almost a Mike Tyson thing going on with his voice.
Like a Guzman thing.
Yeah, Guzman / Mike Tyson.
Like Guzman mixed with Tyson.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just giving it to you. But I had the same thing with Dolph Lundgren. I didn't know it was him at first. He has like the whole facial hair thing going. He's got like long hair. He looked like a younger like Chris Christopherson or something.
I don't know Chris Christopherson enough to know what
the dude from Blade, Whistler.
No, I mean Chris Christopherson is a country singer.
He's also an actor.
But I only know him as a country singer.
Have you seen Blade?
Which one? The first one?
The first two.
I mean, I saw the first one, but that was when it came out. I haven't seen it since.
Anyway, he looks exactly like that.
Oh,
he had like the long white hair and beard and stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like we've discussed this movie pretty good. What I want to do is like a big takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where I feel like we should just all give like our big like what did we gain from this movie, while we watched it in our movie club,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have a big takeaway yet? Do you want me to just try and takeaway?
I know Nick's a theory person, so I feel like if anyone had something, it would be him.
Do you mean like something we learned from it, or just like what we thought of it?
Yeah, something that you may have like learned from it, something that you feel like you'll remember this movie for later on down the road.
Nothing particular, but just the thing where like I'm always interested to see how people thought the future would look and be in the 90s. How they thought 2020. This is what it's going to be like. I mean, they thought it's going to be like this exactly.
We're not that far off from 2021. I feel like none of that stuff is going to happen.
Yeah, and in fact, some of the stuff we've already moved well beyond.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. We could go back. We could regress.
It's true.
So your big takeaway is just like the future is now, eh?
Yeah, it's a fun movie. I'm a big cyberpunk guy. I love it. So.
Are you? What other cyberpunk shit is there?
There's a lot. Akira's pretty cyberpunky.
Is it?
The Matrix, Ghost in the Shell.
It really can't be understated how much this movie really just feels like The Matrix. Like The Matrix was like The Matrix could easily be a remake of this, starring the same exact guy, which is really fucked up when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like it's not in that he's like on a virtual reality world, but he dips into like it's like the opposite. Like he does go from the real world to the virtual reality.
Yeah.
Like I feel like these are, and his name is he calls himself Smith.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like it's not his last name. That's a fake name that he makes up. But he's like Mr. Smith, And
I forgot to give a. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
No.
No. You go.
I thought you were done. I forgot to give a shout out to if you're a fan of the Blue Opera singer from The Fifth Element, then you should check this movie out because she has a.
I feel like this was another. I feel like my takeaway is this movie was very influential on the rest of the '90s, apparently, because that feels like very.
Sci-fi.
It was definitely points where like she was singing, and it's like that is the fucking opera singer from The Fifth Element, but like The Fifth Element just amps it to the next level, or like The Matrix borrows so heavily from it, like.
So it's pretty interesting that this was the first one we chose, if that is the case, because big 90s sci-fi enthusiasts, and this, you could say that this was the glue that held them all together.
This is a cornerstone. This is like a hidden cornerstone gem. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, see, you never mentioned that. Like that was the kind of the genesis of, watching this is your Ramon's love of these 90s sci-fi movies.
I love like 90s blockbuster movies in general. Like any movie that they dumped a ridiculous amount of money into in the 90s, I want to watch it because I typically am going to love it, especially because at that time, like money didn't do as much for them as it does now, right? Like now you can have like a pretty low budget movie and it looks way better than like this garbage that they were making, but because like computer effects cost so much. And they were splitting that between that and like practical effects. You had these like weird hodgepodge movies, it's particularly in the 90s because like they were trying with computers,
Mm-hmm.
So like you will get like a weird fucked up 3D render of like like a monster,
Yeah.
and then they'll also have like when that monster interacts with people, like his tooth or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Godzilla, he bites into a car, and the Godzilla is 3D, but the tooth is real and very fake. You know, like that kind of stuff I love because it just feels like really like. It just feels like they're having a good time. I know they weren't. I know there's as like, you know what I mean? Like I know that they weren't having a much better time than they make when they make movies now. You know, it's still just a job for these people.
Sure.
But they were like on the cutting edge, and alternatively, the other people were watching their jobs die out to computers. Like Jurassic Park was just that. Jurassic Park was like they had all these like claymation dinosaurs. The guy was like animating them, and then Spielberg came in like, "Oh no, forget that. We're gonna just do them digital from now on." But hey, we still want you around for the stuff that isn't. And this guy had to like work with the people that were gonna be stealing his jobs in like 10 years, you know, completely. So like I don't know. There's something fun about watching those movies when like it's the passing of a torch.
Yeah,
you know?
It's more like the taking of a torch.
Yeah.
The way you're describing it.
It's a digital revolution, and I mean, like, and more to the point, I felt like the way we talked about this in Star Wars was that like Star Wars Episode 1 is my favorite one, and that was really like okay, the torch has been passed. This movie is all CGI. There's you know what I mean? Like it's mostly all just like weird like soft cartoony looking like aliens and shit, and that's kind of neat, you know. And yeah, so to me, it's better than like the other boring Star Wars movies. I mean, like it's still pretty boring, but at least it's got like some crazy effects in it and like hilarious aliens. So yeah, but my big takeaway from this is probably similar to your guys' and just that like wow, what a movie we just watched.
Yeah.
Like this was so much like I wouldn't say the other shit was influenced by it, but you could make a case that like this should be looked like. I never even heard of this fucking movie till you guys told me about it.
Really?
No, I'd never heard of it.
I knew of it. I had never seen it until just now.
I told a friend that I was watching it, and they were pretty psyched, like, "Oh shit!" But I'd never heard of it.
Your friends would be very disappointed, aren't they?
Why?
Oh, I thought they were just like a genuine love of it. That they were like
I don't know.
Had big thoughts.
So now I want to do our rating system. Because at the end of these reviews, I want to like, you know, just sort of give the movie on a scale of 7. That's going to be our system here, guys. A 7 system, okay?
Oh, that's fine. There's no explanation necessary.
I'll tell them why. I've said this enough.
No,
Listen.
no explanation necessary. It's fine. We get it. 7. 1 out of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Everybody's on board then.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, that's on you, but you don't have to justify yourself to us.
7 is the perfect number to rate things on. Everybody should do it. I'm starting a movement. Just feel free to be a part of it. What would you give it, Nick, on a scale of 1 to 7?
Like a 4.
That's right down the middle. That's just an average movie.
How are we judging it? Just by like entertainment value? By
it's always about how it makes you feel, the vibes that it gave you.
Yeah, you know, I might go a little bit higher. I go a 5 because it's like I wasn't super into it, but you know, it's got like some cool ideas and like some fun stuff. You know.
Here's the thing: the further I get away from it, the more I'm going to push away all the bad things that I didn't like about it, and I'm only going to remember the things that like I do like about it, and like I'm already restructuring this movie in my head. So I'd be like willing to give it a 6 out of no 5 out of 7.
Okay,
6
so
I just gotta say that I actually now feel woefully not. I don't feel qualified to give this movie a review because I watched the movie, but I didn't know about the whole multimedia experience, and now I feel like I missed the whole movement. You know, the Johnny Mnemonic movement. That might have been a totally different experience.
That's true.
Have the mega CD-ROM, you know.
to
Pepsi
soundtrack.
commercials, the soundtrack, the Japanese
Maybe we could
soundtrack.
just, instead of reviewing movies, we could just review different Johnny Mnemonic, like, media, like, things.
I want to see
I
what the
wouldn't be
Hack Your...
against that.
I wonder if there's like photos of the Johnny Mnemonic Hack Your Mind shirts.
I mean, there's
That's
gotta
pretty
be.
cool.
As
That'd
a
be like-
movement, I give this like a 6 out of 7. You know.
Yeah.
As a movement, let's give it a 7 out of 7. Like, let's not, you know.
Well, let's,
Let's keep it real. It's a pretty amazing movement.
Absolutely. How many movies do you know that had a Mega CD tie-in?
I don't know that I could name one.
Exactly.
Oh man, the T-shirt is it says "Hack Your Brain" and it's like it's the digital thing. It's like his fake hands with like the weird claws,
Oh
like
man.
about to like open like one of those little boxes that he
One of
had.
those boxes, yeah.
Yeah. And there's another shirt that they had that just said the danger is all in his head.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, and he's like kind of doing like a thinker pose, but with like those goofy ass gloves on, the hockey gloves that were like digital gloves.
Yeah. His VR gloves.
Yeah, I felt like this movie also had some like religious symbolism.
It was pretty subtle, but I picked up on it too.
I felt like they were really trying to say something about religion, but I'm not quite sure what though. That's the only problem. Like if you load it with the imagery of like a killer Jesus, like at least make it so like I understand what the point that you're trying to make is, but they didn't really try or care for that. So
yeah,
that's why I can't give them a 6. If they even tried to make it like even, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Totally fair. Very magnanimous.
Pretty fair review, I would say.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, so 5 out of 7 from 2 of us out of 4. 2 of us out of 3 of us. You know, I feel like it's a pretty solid outing for Johnny Mnemonic. You know.
Yeah. A lot better than its Rotten Tomatoes score, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. They really ravaged this thing.
Yeah. See, my thing is, I watched it as a kid when I was probably something like 10 years old, and maybe older than that. And none of us got into it. If you can't get 10-year-old boys excited about a movie about a guy who's a data courier fighting the Yakuza, you know what I mean? Like, there's something missing there. Like, it could have been a very exciting movie.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, we all are familiar with the way that a 10-year-old boy's eyes light up when you mention data couriers.
Well, not data as such, but that it was, this kind of high-tech,
You guys didn't even you guys weren't even stirred by Jane. Like, she did nothing for you.
How so?
She was a junkie.
She was a junkie, but she was like a junkie with a heart of gold and like a pretty good body, and like she kicked ass.
Whoa!
What? She was like a what? I mean, that's pretty clear. That was her whole character.
And she just seemed really intent on becoming a bodyguard. So yeah,
I like that. She
was very ambitious.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked that. Jane was my favorite character in the movie.
Okay.
Who was yours? Was it not Jane? I thought we were all agreed that Jane was the MVP.
Like that guy. I told you. I feel like that guy that murdered the annoying motherfucker with the lisp immediately became my favorite character once that happened.
That was nobody. That was just a guy with a knife.
You know what? It wasn't nobody because he played the most important role in the movie, as far as I'm concerned.
My favorite character was the Chinese guy with the long hair and the round glasses.
See, my character was actually a character that was like in the movie for more than like 2 minutes, though. So I feel
that guy was like trying to burn a picture and had his fingers chopped off. He did things.
So
and here's the thing.
Now that we've given the scores, now we're talking the movie. What?
So this guy had his fingers chopped off, right? Just imagine if there was a Johnny Mnemonic sequel. Think about all the things they could do with thumbs and apply that to an entire hand full of missing fingers.
That guy didn't have the juice to lead a Yakuza organization. That's the thing. He was a lackey. He was a flunky.
Say so.
I know so.
All right, you know what? Let's move on.
Let's wrap things up.
Let's move on.
I think we've gone on far enough. How about that?
You've gone on.
I think so.
Tamra, I'm gonna have to shut this down, okay?
You would.
So, yeah, that was the very first installment of our new venture, our new talking about movies venture. You know, we hope you enjoyed yourself. The one person who may see this, and join us next time when we watch some other thing.
Yeah.
You guys want to do any last minute shout outs? Twitter, upcoming project, anything like that? Just to the one person who may not know. I feel like we don't need to. You know what? I want to shout out Mexicana Salsa.
Absolutely.
For being a proud sponsor of the show.
Well,
potential sponsor, but you know
we're courting.
If there's any other salsa companies that want to swoop in and save the day, vis-a-vis sponsorship opportunities,
we're talking to some people, you know.
Yeah. I also want to give a shout out to the good people of Newark, you know, who sacrificed an entire city to bring us Johnny Mnemonic. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I also want to give a shout out to the Sony advertising executives. I thought this movie was going to be the one to launch. Launch a giant marketing campaign.
They tried, you know. You got to give them that.
They had big ideas.
They really put themselves out there, you know.
Yeah, you got to give them credit for that.
Absolutely. They fell flat in their faces, but you know.
You know who doesn't get enough credit? Sony engineers.
Absolutely. You know what, Nick? That's a great point.
All right. So, you guys got any shout-outs?
You can buy Ringside Volume 1 from bookstores or comic stores or Amazon or whatever. So you can do that if you want to.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Well,
that's me.
Okay. Well, I'm Tamra Bonvillain on Twitter. Just be like @TBonvillain. Work on a bunch of books. Nighthawk, which I work on with Ramon at Marvel.
Absolutely. Yep.
Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur. Wayward. A bunch of other things. Just look me up.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We should come up with like a sweet sign-off. Like.
We should definitely figure that out as we're recording. Yeah.
Listen, I'm all about giving the people inside looks at the band.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So about Seacrest out.
I think that might be taken.
I feel like it's a little done.
Yeah. Come on, Nick.
Is there anything that we could do vis-a-vis Nightcat?
I don't know.
Meow with the moon.
I thought you said meow.
Oh, meow.
Cat. See you later.
Oh. Catch you later.
That's pretty lame though. We can do better.
Catch you later.
Yeah. I mean, I think all of those are pretty great.
Let's just say goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
if you have any good ideas for sign outs, let us know. Like, put in the comments or whatever. Cause that'd be cool.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.